So today we've been clearing out the old raised alpine bed, and I've taken out all the bits and pieces I don't want, retaining the old rocks. As you can see, I've left a bit of the miniature hardy geranium around the edge and the odd bit of grape hyacinth in the back, which isn't doing any harm, so I've left it there. But the bees absolutely love the hardy geranium, so I'll leave that around the edges, and then we'll put some fresh mix, alpine mix, on top of the existing soil, which, as you can possibly see if you zoom in on it, is already quite gritty. So we're just going to freshen that up with my special mix, which is 1 part topsoil, 1 part manure, 1 part horticultural grit, and 1 part multi-purpose compost. The best quality multi-purpose compost you can get would be great. So I've got my trusty little bucket, and that is my 1 part of topsoil in there, which gives the mix some body, and then there's 1 part of the multi-purpose compost, which give it a few bits of food, and the potting grit, which will give it some good drainage and keep the soil loose and the air in it to allow the roots to grow, and then the farmyard manure, which will give it some extra food, and also it will retain a bit more of the moisture, because although on the face of it the alpines need good drainage, they also need a certain amount of moisture to survive. So we'll mix our 1 part of each of those into our little bucket in the trusty wheelbarrow, and we'll mix it up with a spade and then put it on top of the raised bed. So we've now got our barrow full of 1 part of horticultural grit, 1 of multi-purpose compost, 1 of farmyard manure, and 1 of topsoil. We're just going to mix that with the spade and top dress the old raised rock garden. I've now spread about 75 to 100 ml of our special mix over the alpine bed. As you'll see, a lot of the big rocks look as if they're submerged now, but once the soils settle and the rain hits, you'll find that the gravel, gritty stuff will come to the surface and the soil level will drop. So now we get the exciting bit of popping in the plants. Now salvage some of the old rock roses from the old alpine bed, and I didn't like to throw them away, although that's a bit leggy and big, but anyway, it'll go in the centre of the middle of the border of the bed. And then here's a sort of selection of alpines, some small, some large. If you buy a few large ones and a few smaller ones, then it fills up the space. The small ones will soon grow on, and the larger ones will give you the instant colour, etc, etc. Those I've had soaking in a tray of water for 24 hours, just so they get a good start in the new soil. Helianthemum cerise queen. So that little one on the left hand side will grow to about that size after probably about 10 years. Right, those are all set out, so once I'm happy with the positions, which I'm reasonably happy now, I will plant those all in the ground and then give them a little bit of a soaking of water a bit later on in the day when the sun's gone off them. And hopefully those will come on and we'll have quite a colourful display for many years to come. And most of the labels round now, and just go quickly round the border. If you zoom in on them and if there's a particular plant that you like, then hopefully you might be able to pick up the name of it from the labels here. Go whizzy 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 around here. Try not to make too much of a shadow. I think there's going to be a bit bleached out by the sunshine, but you may be able to possibly, if I focus them in a bit, read them. There we are, all the mess in the background, but it pays, especially with a raised bed like this that you can view from different angles and sides, just to have a wander around the bed before you do your final planting, and then at least you can be sure you're happy with the positions. But rest assured you can easily move them at this stage if you want to, or at a later stage. Right, now comes the easy bit. We're going to pop all these little babies into the flower bed. We'll have the taller ones in the middle and the lower ones to the edges, and hopefully that should work fine. Right, here we go. This is the exciting bit. I'm going to start off by popping some of these little babies in. There we go. Just ease them out. We just open up the roots just a little bit in there. Do their little planting pockets. There we are. These are all nicely soaked in the tray. You see that's got quite root bound that is there. We're just going to open those roots up a little bit just to encourage it to grow. There. And then we go on like that all the way around the border. We've got this big beast here, which we salvaged from the old planting regime, but it's quite a nice, it's a bit too big really in some ways. It's a shame to throw it away. Pop that in. Just measure those roots. Some more space for that little root. There we are. Push that in. And then we just carry on with the rest of the plants. And then very shortly we'll have the bed full. It's easier to put them out roughly where you want them to begin with, and then you can see whether you like the colours, sizes, heights, etc, etc. There we are. We'll just carry on and plant these last few whilst the sun is still shining. Not bad for Good Friday, because normally on Good Friday the weather is overcast and wet. So this is a bonus. Put those in so that we know what the names are. Because I never remember the names, so never ask me. I'm going to take this saxifrage out. Quite pop out, so I just open those roots up a little bit. Take the fall there. Over as I see it. Yeah. Yeah, look at all the little rooty things there. You can see those. I might have missed them to see on the camera. The rhodanthem.